I kid you not, and I am not exaggerating when I say 2017 was the best year I have ever had. One of the best years I've ever had. Hey guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? If you are from my YouTube channel, then it may have been a minute since you've seen me. If you're from my Facebook family, then it hasn't really been that long. I really want to start doing more encouraging videos on my YouTube channel, as well as upload it to Facebook. The more eyes that see it, hopefully the more hearts that become encouraged from these videos. That's the goal. This idea for this first video that I'm going to share with you, this story is the thing that kept coming to my heart and mind, and I'm just going to go with it. And I believe that there is someone out there who must need to hear it because it just keeps coming back to my mind. And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous of telling this story, but I truly believe that it's going to help or benefit someone out there who hears this. So that's my hope, that's my prayer. So let me go ahead and jump into the story. So in 2017, it's probably about May at this point, I was in the midst of looking at apartments. I currently live with my parents, and I was really ready to move and live on my own. Was just like, you know what, I think this is the time. I think I should move back to Savannah. I have friends over there. I'm starting to create a work network over there, and so I think this is the time. I think that I should be moving. And if you on my YouTube remember, I actually made a video that talks about, yes, I'm moving and all that sort of stuff. Other life updates, I am going to be moving. Right now, I currently live in my parents' house, and it's been a year since I graduated from my school in Savannah, and now, after a year's time, I'm going to be moving back to Savannah. I started telling my friends, I started telling my family, like, I'm going to move, this is the goal, I have money saved up, and as time went by, just not even super long, probably just a couple of weeks since I made that declaration that I'm moving, I've started to get the sense that moving was not in God's plan for me at this moment. And to be honest, I was fighting that feeling, that voice of God, you know, who was trying to get my attention. I was fighting that because up to this point, this would have been my third attempt at trying to move. And for some reason or another, I was not able to. The first time I tried to move was in December of the previous year, September of the previous year. And I got super sick. And I couldn't even leave the hotel. I had gone to Savannah at that time, and I was going to look for apartments. And I was so sick I couldn't leave throughout the day. That whole week I was there. I only went out at night to spend time with friends and hang out. But I was not well enough to really get out during the day and be on my feet for hours or looking for places. So that didn't happen. And then the second attempt was in that December period. I was applying for something through my school, my university, SCAD, and unfortunately I didn't get accepted into this program, which would allow me to move back to Savannah. And so that was the second blow. And so now, as you can imagine, it's May and I'm really ready to move. And I'm starting to get the sense that this is not what God would have for me to do. And I'm kind of a little bit ignoring it. I'm trying to just, or not necessarily ignoring it, but trying to reason, well, maybe I'm just fearful. Maybe it's just because the other two times didn't happen, so I'm nervous. Maybe that's the reason I'm getting this feeling, or maybe it's because, you know, my parents are hesitant about me moving, and so maybe that's getting all in my head. And then one day, you know, I'm sitting and I'm looking at apartments and things like that, and I just, you know, that feeling was just so strong. I just kind of got quiet and I was like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? What are you saying to me? Because I hear you, you know, when you just kind of hear you, that knock or that press that, like, I've been trying to speak to you. I want you to hear me. So I was like, okay, God. I laid everything down. I just stopped looking on my computer. I just put my hands down, my laptop, and was just like, okay, God, what are you saying to me? So clearly, so distinctly, I remember him saying, do not move until next year. When I heard that, I was disappointed, but I was also okay. And let me explain. Like, up to that point, I kind of had the feeling that God was telling me not to move. I just didn't spend a moment to really sit down and be quiet and then hear him say it to me, because I was trying to kind of push it aside, because I didn't really want to hear no, because I was really ready to move. Up to that point where God was speaking to me, I kind of already knew that he didn't want me to leave. And so I think I already kind of went through that disappointment phase, if that makes sense. Like, because I was already sort of preparing, because I already sort of knew that I wasn't supposed to be moving. As soon as he just spoke to me like, I don't want you to move until next year, I was just like, okay. I was like, if you don't want me to move till next year, God, then there has to be a reason. Something also that I did differently this time around that I've never done, honestly, never in my whole life as being a follower of Christ and having this relationship with God have I ever done what I'm about to tell you I did next. Next night, I actually had church group. I baked a whole bunch of cupcakes. And I took them to the group that night. Everyone was, of course, excited because, someone brought homemade cupcakes and, like, what? They were asking, well, what's all this for? And I said, you guys know that I was supposed to be moving. I told you guys I was going to be moving and I was looking for places. But through prayer and also just through time and being able to finally listen and hear what God was telling me, he told me specifically, do not move until next year. And I'm here with these cupcakes to celebrate, because I believe that though I don't see it and I don't understand, that God is going to do something great. So these cupcakes are to symbolize the great thing that God has in store for me by being here in San Antonio. I'm telling you this story because the aftermath, the results, what happened after I thanked him, man, I kid you not, and I am not exaggerating when I say 2017 was the best year I have ever had. One of the best years I've ever had. There is no way that I could not say that my thankfulness and trust in God was not a huge part as to why I was so blessed. Not on me, not because I really did anything other than just trust God that he was going to do something. I had no idea what that something was. So, to get to the point, I want to read to you, because I wrote it all down, I want to read to you all the things that happened to me since that moment of saying, I trust you, God, and all the things he's blessed me with throughout that year. So let me tell you. So, the highlights of 2017. One thing, I am the healthiest I've ever been. The healthiest, I think at this point now, I've lost a total of 60 pounds. So I've gotten more toned, I've gotten more lean, I'm just more energetic, I have more energy. I've always been a bubbly person, but just like I feel really good on the inside. And I started doing weights this year, and that's really transformed my body as far as like how it fills out and all that. So super happy with that. I was in my first show this year. I went to Atlanta. And by being home, I think what really helped was because I didn't have friends, I wasn't distracted. So all I did from literally from 10 in the morning to 10 at night was just work, was painting and working and creating. And so I had a really good, I had a lot of products for the show. And I had my own little, little hut almost. And it was really cool. It almost looked like a store, and I had shelving. It looked really cool. I did a lot of traveling because my money didn't go towards rent and utilities and all that. I had money to travel. I've been to Savannah, of course I told you about. I went to Atlanta. I also went to Pennsylvania. I went to Philly for the first time. I went to New York. What? I went to New York. I went to Manhattan for the first time. That was something I didn't think I would be able to accomplish until years later, but I got to go. I saw John Boyega. Because I had money, I got to go to the film festival in Savannah, and I saw John Boyega. I was literally in the front row of his screening for Detroit, and I got to see him speaking during the interview after the filming, after the screening. It was so cool. I was like, oh my gosh. I got to go to the film festival, of course. I met a lot of really cool people there, but that's going to be too long of a story, so I got to share that for later. But I met a lot of cool people there. I have done 7 shoots, and I've done 9 looks. I've done 2 video shoots as well, and I gathered a team for one of them, and I got a makeup artist, photographer, videographer, and that was just really cool to kind of like get a team together and see everyone coordinate. Like, that was really awesome, and to think that I like gathered that together, that was really cool. I was interviewed by a grad student at my university who wants to just, talk about me as an artist and what I did, and that was really fun. That was really cool. If I ever like get the interview or hear about it or whatever, then I'll make sure I let you guys know about it. I have created 7 bags. I've created 9 paintings. I've launched the model artist, which was last year. That was the first time I did that. And like, hi, I'm a model artist, and this is what I do. I paint and I model after it, or I wear it. So that was really cool. And got a little shy at this point. Probably one of the things that everyone or people on my Facebook at least knows, I got a boyfriend this year, and that, honestly, I will say, the next thing I'm going to say is these 2 things are probably like the biggest blessings of 2017. But my boyfriend is a huge blessing. Like, I'm gonna save some stuff for like February, because I probably will do a video on love and all that, so I won't talk about everything right now. It's not just having a boyfriend, because in the culture of like everyone just wanting to have someone or whatnot, and I'm not criticizing. I think we all desire to be loved, and I think there's nothing wrong with desiring to have a romantic partner and stuff like that. But I think because he's so much more than a romantic partner. He is my best friend. We literally talk about everything. It's so, I don't know, I feel so relaxed, and it's awesome because it's long distance, and yet I feel so happy. Like, I'm not in any remorse. I'm not angry. I'm not tense about, oh my gosh, when are we gonna move together? Move in the same city. I mean, don't get it twisted. No, when do we get to like be closer to all that? I'm not worried about that. I'm just excited to be, I don't know. He's just, man, he's just awesome. I won't go into it again too deeply. I'm already talking about him too long. I think other than my boyfriend, I think the other biggest blessing that I got this year was just I have grown so much closer to God during this time. A lot of stuff has been going on in the world, government, natural disasters. And can I tell you, and I know this sounds crazy and, whatever, I'm not going to worry about what or what not may happen, what or what people may not say. But I'm going to be honest and real. I've had more peace and joy and happiness in the last year than I have in years. I'm not naive to what's going on in the world. I understand. I'm in the same world you are in. I'm not naive to what's going on. I'm just saying, like, I know these things, and yet I am peaceful. I am joyous. I am thriving. I am doing so well in, my relationships, and I'm feeling very hopeful and purposeful with my career goals and aspirations. I'm not worried about those things, I'm just really genuinely happy. And I know people say happiness is fleeting, but I don't know. I feel like with God, happiness can be eternal, because like even when I have a bad day, I feel like underneath that I'm still joyous, and trust me, I've been through some really horrible days, but like last year was just such a blessing. And even with all the anxiety in the world, I feel like God's really worked in my heart for me to not be anxious, to not be discouraged, not to be cynical. Like, I'm truly very joyous. Like, I can't explain it. And if people feel a certain type of way, or they're just like, I don't believe that, hey, you know what? It don't bother me. It does not bother me, man. I really wish you could feel this joy though, because like, I'm excited, man. I'm just really excited. Anyways, but I'm just so joyous, and I fear less, and I think that's what makes me be able to be bold in the things I want to do, because I've it's not so much do I care less about what people say, it's like, do I care more about what God says? Because I think we all to a degree care about what people say about us, but do you care more about what they say versus do you care more about what God says? Because I care more about what God says, and God says a lot of great things about me, I'm going with what He says, and I'm just gonna live on that, so I feel pretty good. Oh, my hair's grown a lot longer. My hair's tucked away because it's just kind of like not as cute as I want it to be right now. But it's grown significantly long, and I'm very happy. I think that's partly because I'm not stressed. I'm drinking lots of water, I'm working out, and I'm just happy. And you know, my mom says, you know, when you love someone and stuff like that, you know, like you're just, everything about your body just changes. So maybe that also. So maybe I have to thank my boyfriend as well for my hair growing long. I don't know. I'm just happy. And also, the biggest thing that happened in 2017 was I got a studio space. I found a group of artists who are at the studio, who's owned by someone who went to my university, not only went to my university, graduated from my university, taught at my university, at both the SCAD campus, no, or was he at Atlanta? Maybe he was both, but I know he, for a fact, went to the Lacoste campus in France, where my university also like is, and I was just like, what? That is crazy. And I got a studio there, and I'm going to be showing you guys more about that because right now it's in renovation. Like I'm going to be painting it and all that to make it look really nice. But all that to say, y'all, that list, all those things that I said, are a result of me being where I was. Because a lot of these things are a result of me not spending money on moving and rent. I wouldn't have been able to travel. Honestly, y'all, and again, I have to share the story later, but if I had moved, I guarantee you, for a fact, I would have missed my boyfriend. Like, I would not have met him at all. We would have literally missed, like, because the way we actually met and started dating was a result of me, direct result of me not moving and making a separate decision as to where I met him. Like, I promise you, it would not have happened. I wouldn't have done so many things creatively because I wouldn't have had the money for it, honestly, or the time, because I would have had to work, honestly, to keep rent up. Like, I had enough money to moving in a place, but not enough money to keep up rent, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know any of these things would happen. I didn't know I would be able to go to New York. I didn't know I'd be able to have a successful show, have this great abundance of peace and joy. Like, who knew? And all because I just say I trust you. I want you to be able to have a better year than whatever year you had before. If you had a couple of setbacks and you're just kind of like, you know what, I don't know if I believe in any good thing happening for me. I believe in God, Amanda, or I'm trying to believe, but like just a lot of bad stuff's been happening, so I don't really see where God is. I don't really know if He's really faithful. I don't know if He really cares. I want you to know that God is so faithful and that He hears you. He hears your cries. He hears the things that you don't even specifically pray for. I know it doesn't make sense probably where you are. I know right now having trust just seems like the last thing that you really have within you to do. But even if all you can say is, God, you know, help my unbelief. That's actually scriptural. Help my unbelief, God. Help my unbelief. Because I want to believe that you have some good plans for me. Just say something like that. You don't even have to go on and on about it. Just say, God, help my unbelief in blah, blah, blah. Because I want to believe, so help my unbelief. Continue on what you're doing and just see what God does, you know? Just continue on what you're doing and see what God does in your life. I am so glad that I'm able to come, because I think it's one thing for us to say, like, you know, God, you know, said this to me and all that, and that's great. But I think it means something more when someone says, God said this, I believed He, you know, this is what He said, and I trusted Him. It has a result. These are my results. And boy, I tell you, 2017 was literally the best year ever. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know how long it was. I guarantee you it's probably longer than 10 minutes. I tried. I am doing these videos solely to inspire courage and to encourage you. That is all.